How to get out of a DUI first offense part 2. This video is part 2 of an important topic, how to get out of a DUI first offense. If you haven't seen part 1, I've included a link in the description, and you should take our DUI arrest test where you can assess the nature of your arrest to determine if you may be able to get your charges withdrawn, and I've included a link to the test in the description of this video. Now, there are 4 things that you need to know about how to get out of a DUI on a first offense. So first question, is it possible to get out of a DUI in a first offense? And the answer is maybe. In some cases, it may be possible to get the Crown, and that's the lawyer that's represented the government in your DUI case, to drop your DUI charge in favor of a different charge called careless driving. 2, why is this a big deal? This is actually a very big deal because careless driving is not a criminal charge. In other words, you would avoid a criminal record. Now, careless driving is a charge. It's still a charge, but it's a charge under the Highway Traffic Act of Ontario. Now, it's a serious charge under the Highway Traffic Act of Ontario, but it is not a criminal charge. So that means you would avoid the life-changing aspects associated with having a criminal record. 3, what are the circumstances where a DUI charge may be withdrawn? Now, there are guidelines that the Crown must follow when considering dropping a DUI charge to a careless driving charge. And generally, these are the guidelines. So, was there a low blood alcohol reading? There was no accident and no one hurt in the incident. There were no children involved in the incident. You don't have a criminal record. You don't have a Highway Traffic Act record. You've never had any situation where you've blown in the alcohol warning range. And generally, there are no aggravating circumstances surrounding the incident. Finally, it's important to emphasize that the facts in your case, they need to meet every single one of those guidelines, not just some of them, in order to be considered to get your DUI charge dropped to careless driving. 4, who is the decision maker in deciding whether the DUI charge gets dropped? Even if your case meets all the guidelines, and even if the Crown agrees to drop your DUI charge for careless driving, the Crown is not the final decision maker. The final decision maker in your case is going to be a judge or a justice of the peace. And he or she, what they'll do is they'll listen to the facts of the case and they'll decide whether your DUI case should ultimately be dropped in favor of the lesser charge of careless driving under the Highway Traffic Act of Ontario. As a next step, we have a great video you should watch. It's called I Got a DUI, Now What? You can find the video on your screen. And finally, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We can have a confidential and free consultation.